नित्यानन्दं परकदं केवलं ज्ञानमूर्तिं द्वन्द्वातीतं गगनसदृशं तत्त्वमस्याधिलक्ष्यम् एकं नित्यं विमलमचलं सर्वैः साक्षिभूतं भावातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि.
Nithyanandam, we are filled with joy, excitement and deep gratitude as we bring this breaking news to all of you. As all of us are aware, just a few days ago, the Hon'ble Court of Gujarat had exonerated the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism of the false habeas corpus petition, a baseless kidnapping accusation that was laid on the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism solely with the intention to persecute and attack the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. Today, in a landmark order by the Hon'ble High Court of Gujarat, the Hon'ble High Court of Gujarat has exonerated the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism and given the order, the final verdict, the final order for all of us, the 2 billion of us Hindus. This is a huge news to celebrate. We are joining with you all to share this breaking news. It's amazing.
नित्यानन्दं परमसुखदं केवलं ज्ञानमूर्तिं द्वन्द्वातीतं गगनसदृशं तत्त्वमस्याधिलक्ष्यम् एकं नित्यं विमलमचलं सर्वधी साक्षिभूतं भावातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि.
Nithyanandam, we are filled with excitement, joy, and gratitude as we bring one of the most biggest news. Because this, what we are going to share with you all, is a huge victory, a legal victory for all of us, the 2 billion Hindus. We've all been aware of the over last 5 years of the relentless persecution and character assassination of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, where there a baseless complaint, a false charge of kidnap was levied on the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. We both were weaponized. And this brutal lawfare was put against the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism for the last 5 years. And in a landmark judgment, the Honorable High Court of Gujarat has exonerated the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism of all the false charges. And in addition to that, the Honorable High Court of Gujarat extensively has detailed out in its order the various statements as to how the Gurukul is, the space, how the Gurukul is protected, or whether how the entire charge is baseless and there is no grounds. There is the whole claim of illegal confinement or kidnap is baseless. This entire order is a huge victory for all of us Hindus, all of us as Hindus, and for all of us Kailasians. Nithyanandam, Nithyanandam Yashodan Kulkarni Ayya, Nithyanandam Chaitanya, Nithyanandam. We welcome every one of you that are watching us. This is a huge victory. This is a big news. And we request all the viewers, every one of you that are watching us live right now, to take a few minutes and please share this with your people. Please share this with as many people as you can, because this is a huge, this is a huge step in exposing the anti-Hindu media mafia continuously, where the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was attacked, targeted, character assassination was done, and persecuted solely for standing up for Hinduism.
Absolutely. Actually, now all the viewers that are tuning in continuously, I see more and more viewers joining us live right now. Here we are. We are actually going to be reading out the court order from the Honorable High Court of Gujarat to all of you right now. And you all can actually see how this clearly exposes the huge anti-Hindu mafia gang, the anti-Hindu media that is, it's not just the media, it's actually the deep state network, and how this anti-Hindu elements are working, are functioning. And we can very clearly see this getting exposed through this, and how much, just because Swamiji, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, is standing up for Hinduism and has created Kailasa, the first nation for Hindus. Now, this attack has been launched on Swamiji.
And what we have come live for to share mainly is the order, which extensively details out all the events, which takes into account all the in truth, the facts that was shared, and the honorable judges have taken all of these into account. And after the thorough due diligence done, they have passed a final judgment which clearly states that this entire thing is just baseless. There's no ground of this whole accusation of kidnap is completely false. And this exposes continuously how the lawfare is done against the gurus, Hindu gurus, anyone that stands up for Hinduism, and in this case, especially the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. And solely because Swamiji has been standing up for the cause of Kailasa, and Swamiji has been single-handedly voicing out all the persecution and attacks against Hinduism that is happening. Swamiji was targeted, and the entire plot was hatched, and Swamiji was targeted and attacked.
And today, this historic landmark court order, because this is historic because for the very first time we can see, like very in actually it's very blatant the kind of Hindu persecution that Swamiji has been subject to, and here we can see how it has come out in all clear details and exposes this anti-Hindu mafia camp. Now we're actually going to be reading out the court order from the Honorable High Court of Gujarat at Ahmedabad. And this order, which is open for all the reporters of local papers, can for them to see the judgment and to be referred to the reporter. Also, this is being open. So this is in the High Court of Gujarat at Ahmedabad regarding the special criminal application, the habeas corpus petition number 9973 of 2019, with the criminal miscellaneous application that, number 1 of 2020. And this was dealt with by the Honorable Mr. Justice A.Y. Kokje and Honorable Mr. Justice Rajendra M. Sareen. And these were the honorable judges who benched this entire case and who passed this landmark judgment, upholding justice, upholding truth, upholding dharma. And we are going to be reading out verbatim the order as it was passed. And we request all the viewers that are watching this to take a few minutes. And as we read out the order, please take a few minutes and share this live with people, to as many people as possible, because this exposes clearly how the entire case was completely baseless, false. It levies false accusations on the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, and which absolutely have no grounds of merit. And secondly, this is part of the larger propaganda and persecution. This exposes how today anyone can come attack Hindu gurus, and they're able to brutally persecute Hindu gurus, and it takes 5 years. It takes so long for the justice to be obtained. We request all the participants, all the viewers that are watching this, to please take a few minutes and share this with as many people as possible as we read out the order for all of you. And as you all can see in the screen, we are projecting the order as we read it out to each of you live right now. As shown, this was the quorum were Honorable Mr. Justice A.Y. Kokje and Honorable Mr. Justice Rajendra M. Sareen. And the date was on the 2nd of February 2024, oral judgment. And the rule was the learned additional public prosecutor waives the service of rule on behalf of respondent number 1, state. Learned advocate of Mr. Rahul Dholakia waives service of rule on behalf of respondent number 7, and the learned advocate Mr. Manasvi Thapar waives service of rule on behalf of respondent number 8 and 9. And this petition for issuance of habeas corpus has been filed on for the following reliefs, and they have quoted the entire affidavit levied by the petitioner.
Nithyananda, to all the viewers that are joining us from various different parts of the world. For a long time, for almost the last 5,000 years, Hinduism has been continuously subject to persecution. There's been brutal Holocaust, one of the largest, one of the most bloodiest Holocausts in the human history, and yet largely untold about, suppressed and silenced. And the backbone of this great civilization, the Hindu civilization, has been the Guru Shishya Sampradaya, which time and again has upheld the Sanatana Hindu Dharma, despite all the persecution and attacks. If today Hinduism is living, thriving successfully as a longest surviving civilization, the core reason of it is the Guru Shishya Sampradaya. At its very core, that is the heartbeat of Hinduism. And that is why whenever the anti-Hindu elements, the Hindu-phobic elements wanted to attack Hinduism, when they wanted to destroy Hinduism, they targeted and persecuted the Hindu gurus who remain as the backbone of Hinduism. And what we are saying is not just as part of the Holocaust. When we say Holocaust, we're not talking about just what happened some few centuries ago. No, we are talking to you about what is happening every single day. What is happening today? What is happening? What has been happening continuously over continuously over centuries now.
Actually, what we are sharing with all of you right now, as I see more and more participants joining, Nithyananda, to every single one of you that are joining here, we are here to share with all of you one of the historic, groundbreaking revelations that's coming to the entire Hindu diaspora, to the international community now through this landmark court order. And we are here sharing with all of you about the Honorable High Court of Gujarat that has released a landmark court order exonerating the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, and not just that, exposing the entire nexus, the conspirators who are behind this, the intentions, the malicious intentions with which they have hatched this entire plot, the criminal conspiracy to attack the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism and attack Sanatana Hindu Dharma. And today what we are seeing, as we all are celebrating this order from the Honorable High Court of Gujarat, it is important for us to also remember that this the order is a very loud and clear exposing of the Hindu mafia, Hindu phobia, and how continuously the Hindu gurus are being persecuted. We'd like to remind that again and again, because it is important that we remember that Sanatana Hindu Dharma, which is one of the most advanced, most progressive framework, progressive civilization, that has been subject to brutal persecution over the centuries. And finally, when it came to destroying, nothing else could destroy. They tried removing our education system, they tried doing everything, but somehow we all kept coming back again and again and again, because at its very core, we had the Guru Shishya Sampradaya. And that is why in the modern times, the Guru Shishya Sampradaya is being continuously attacked, persecuted, and targeted. Just look around you, look at the last 90 years. How many of you have read in the news where you see gurus being persecuted? There'll be so many cases filed on the guru. Some or the other issue will be told and they'll be arrested. How many of you have come across such cases? You all can let us know in the comments. Please understand what is happening to Swamiji. Swamiji, as the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, who has dedicated his life voicing out what has been happening to Hinduism, standing up for Hinduism, unapologetically standing for the truth, standing for Hinduism, has been subject to over decades of persecution, decades of attacks. And in the recent past, there has been continuously many orders where we see so many false, baseless cases being dismissed, and the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is being exonerated in all the fronts. Now, it is clearly being this entire Hindu mafia gang, the nexus is being exposed. And this judgment is a landmark milestone achievement in that, because over the last 6 years, the colossal amount of character assassination, persecution that the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was subject to,
he was baselessly accused of kidnapping. We both were weaponized by this culinary Janardhan, who used both of us, and he falsely accused Swamiji of kidnapping both of us. And this entire judgment, this entire order that we're reading out to you all, is the order from the Honorable High Court of Gujarat, which clearly tells, after its thorough investigation, its due diligence, it has announced, it has passed the order that there is no such kidnap, there's no sort of illegal confinement, and the Honorable High Court of Gujarat has exonerated the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism.
So now I'm just going to be reading out the exact court order verbatim. First, the court order quotes what the petitioner's allegations is here. The culinary Janardhan, who is a child rapist, he is a serial rapist who had abused, molested both of us as young children. And he and culinary Janardhan, this predator had put this false allegations on the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism of falsely kidnapping both of us, and which is what the Honorable High Court's order is quoting. And I'm going to be reading out the exact order from there. For the aforesaid prayers, initially notice was issued under the order dated 20th November 2019, and from time to time matters have been adjourned and several orders in detail have been passed. In view of the time that has lapsed after filing of the petition, the court may, for its benefit, refer to some of the orders passed by this court. The respondents have raised a preliminary issue by filing a separate application of the corpora praying inter alia as under. Your lordships may be pleased to hold that it has no jurisdiction to entertain the original petition being Special Criminal Application number 9973 of 2019 on the ground that this Honorable Court has no territorial jurisdiction and the same ought may be dismissed on this ground alone.
So just to summarize this entire point, this part of the order elaborates as to how that the Honorable High Court did not have the territorial jurisdiction, which means when the entire case was basically filed in the city of Ahmedabad in Gujarat, and that is where the case baselessly it accused the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism that we both were illegally confined there.
But the fact was that I had never even been to Gujarat, and she was not, and I was not in India. She was also not in India at that time. So and we are not even permanent residents of this place. And when we have not even been there, and the order is stating otherwise, the habeas corpus petition was stating otherwise, where the habeas corpus petition was falsely claiming as we both are illegally confined in Gujarat, whereas I have never been to Gujarat. So that is what this is summarizing, saying that the court does not even have the preliminary territorial jurisdiction over us. In the order dated 12th of January 2023, in the para 6 and 7, it is recorded as under. As such, the corpuses are represented by the learned senior advocate, Mr. B.B. Naik. Learned senior advocate was at his receiving end when asked by the court as to whether the corpuses would be brought, if outside country, on virtual mode before the court to enable the court to know about their status and to ascertain their wish. He stated that he was not in contact with the corpuses since April 2022. However, shall see to it that the contact is maintained and proper response is given to the court. He, however, submitted that he has preliminary objection to the maintainability of the present petition. According to him, this court does not have territorial jurisdiction to deal with the petition. While the court would consider the said preliminary objection on the next date of the hearing, simultaneously, the court finds it fit in totality of facts and circumstances also to simultaneously require the authorities to file their respective affidavits, even if the preliminary issue raised is to be considered a priori. Stand over to 6th of February 2023 as requested by the learned advocates.
And again, in the order dated 6th of February 2023, the court has recorded as under, and we are quoting it, In view of the order dated 12/1/2023, passed by the court, learned advocate Mr. Kisjit Amin for Respondent Union of India seeks to file affidavit in reply. He stated that the same will be filed in the registry accordingly and the reply may be filed, which shall be accepted by the registry. And the learned senior advocate Mr. B.B. Nayak, who appears for the corpora, volunteered to make submission that though the corpora have no objection such as to appear before the court through video conferencing arrangement, which may be envisaged in the facts of the case. At the same time, it was submitted that the court may first consider and decide their preliminary objection as regards of the territorial jurisdiction to try and entertain the present habeas corpus petition. While the court may be addressed with such preliminary point, when the learned senior advocates were asked about the situs place of the corpora, it was stated that they were in Jamaica and that they have been staying at Kingston. And learned advocate, however, submitted that any further information was not available. He stated that he would try to seek such other relevant information by next day. It is to be stated that the information in relation to the precise place where the corpora have been staying and details as to in whose company and custody they happen to be are information necessary for the purpose of present proceeding. And there is no gainsaying to such information when furnished would help the court in the process of consideration as a matter. And as requested by the learned advocate, Mr. Shah, for the petitioner, stand over to 27th of February 2023, to which the other learned advocates have no objection. So just to summarize this part, basically this entire segment of the order mentions the proceedings that happened in around the month of January to February 2023.
Actually, this has been going on since November 2019. 17th of November 2019 was when this false habeas corpus petition was filed by this pedophile Kulnari Janardhan. And now in 2024 is when we actually receive the justice. So this court order actually summarizes various different orders that was given throughout this period.
And the next point, it continues. Seemingly, the attempt was made to secure the presence of the corpora, and as the corpora were reported to be out of India, and hence, considering the facility now available of appearance through the hybrid mode, as well as a video conferencing, this court, in its order dated 9/1/2024, 9th of January 2024, has provided for participation of corpora by providing secured link through the registry of this court. Pursuant to such order, the court has interacted by video conferencing with the corpora and has recorded as such in order dated 10/1/2024, 10th of January 2024. So this part summarizes as to how we both had appeared in the video conferencing with the honorable judges of the High Court of Gujarat, and they had an interaction with us where they asked their questions and they were we had given them the answers, and the entire interaction was mentioned in the order which was dated 10th of January 2024. And the next point continues to elaborate on the same. The facts in very brief are that the petitioner has 4 children, and this entire thing summarizes the baseless accusations.
The facts in a very brief are that the petitioner has 4 children named Lubomudra, Nandita, Kalpalata and Ambasutan, admitted in the year of 2013 for Gurukulam study at the Nithyananda Dhyanapeetham, Nithyananda Nagara, Bidadi, Bengaluru, Karnataka, when they were at approximate age of 15 years, 13 years, 10 years and 7 years, and keeping faith in the Hindu Sanskriti and expecting that the children would be at a better spiritual upliftment. Actually, from here is where I just wanted to give a brief about this. 2013 is the year. I was 14 years old, and all 4 of us had joined the Gurukul, Swamiji's Kailasa's Nithyananda Rajavidya Gurukul. And here Swamiji provides everything completely free of cost and at best quality, where the inner education and the outer education both have been provided to us, and everything starting from accommodation, food, education, whether it's exam fees, everything, including whether the gadgets we use, the clothes we wear, everything end to end is taken care by Kailasa and completely provided for free. And so this was the same year when we all joined together, and this was the same year when we, especially the both of us, whom Janardhan and Bhuneshwari had abused both of us physically, sexually, and psychologically when we were just young children. That entire traumatic childhood, we were able to overcome that traumatic past only by joining Gurukul. So this provided to us a completely new life. Swamiji had showered us with a new life and a new restart, a new beginning. So it was the same year when we had joined. But in the year 2016 is when this Kulnari Janardhan and Bhuvaneshwari had infiltrated in under the pretext of coming as Adinavasis, like being part of the community. And they claimed that they have completely changed and they're not going to be abusive. So they showed a completely different face to us and they joined it. And it was during this time that when they had come in, and in 2018 after I left for the world tour, I found out that they had actually not changed. Instead, they were secretly embezzling huge sums of money. They were stealing huge loads of money from the Adinam, from Swamiji, and under the name of purchases, they were stealing it. And when I discovered it and when I confronted him about it, that is when this entire attack, the persecution started.
And this order continues in the point 7.3 that it is submitted to that to serve the purpose of the writ of habeas corpus, as per the settled law, to present the body of the corpus is must to ascertain the safety and whereabouts of the corpus. For the purpose of jurisdiction, it is submitted that the corpus in the first affidavit of Lopamudra dated 16/12/2019, just 16th of December 2019, over the page 42, paragraph K, L, M, and N, corpus was in Ahmedabad ashram of Nithyananda Dhyana Peetham since its inception in Ahmedabad. Also, the admission made over the page number 48, para number 1 of the affidavit that she is ready to remain present before this court with certain safety, and also admission made by the corpus in the second affidavit of Nandita dated 16/12/2019, which is 16th of December 2019, over the page 75, paragraph K, L, M, and N. The corpus was in Ahmedabad ashram of Nithyananda Dhyana Peetham since its inception in Ahmedabad. Also, the admission made over page number 77. So basically, these are all the different paragraphs that they are quoting and mentioning from the affidavits that we had submitted. And in this, they had highlighted the part where the paragraph number 19 of the affidavit, that she is ready to remain present before this court with certain safety conditions. In the light of this, their safety and whereabouts must be ascertained in person before the court to serve the purpose of this writ of habeas corpus.
Actually, I just wanted to recap regarding this. I remember this time very clearly because this was a time we were continuously requesting, saying that like our life was at danger at the hands of Kulnari Janardhan. And he was trying several kidnap attempts to actually he wanted to put a false allegation on Swamiji. He filed a false complaint on Swamiji, portraying, staging as if we are being kidnapped by Swamiji, which was completely false. And on the other hand, he was actually trying to kidnap us. He was trying to kidnap the both of us, somehow get us into his clutches. And we were trying to escape Kulnari Janardhan's clutches. And we said that, look, we kept sending our affidavits to the Honorable High Court saying that we humbly request just some safety protection. We really request that we are ready to come, but we need the safety conditions. Without us having protection, our life would be at danger. Given that Kulnari Janardhan, even in live media channels, he went ahead and said that he is ready to go to any extent to get us both under his clutches. So continuing from this, and whereas the case of the corpora is that the petition of the original petitioner is not maintainable in its present form and has questioned territorial jurisdiction to entertain the said main petition as the corpus number 1, Lopamudra, herein never detained illegally as alleged within the jurisdiction of this court as the corpus number 1, herein is not residing in India since 30th November 2018. And the corpus number 2, Nandita, herein as residing out of India since the November since 5th of November 2019 that there is no cause of action as alleged has been wholly or in part arisen within the jurisdiction of this court, as the corpora and the petitioner are not the permanent resident within the territories of this court. Further, the corpora are the permanent residents of Karnataka and have initially resided in the lawful custody of the ashram situated at Bangalore. Actually, this brings to me for me a fundamental question. I have never been to Gujarat. We were not even in India. Swamiji had not even come to that campus. Swamiji was also not in India at that time.
And the order also clearly states, like we all are seeing in the order right now, in the order it's clearly mentioned how at the time this complaint was filed, neither of us were even in this place of Gujarat, and she has never even set her foot into Gujarat. She has never been there Gujarat, in Gujarat. She's never been to Gujarat. And we can clearly see this entire order upholding truth and justice has mentioned all these clear facts, which says this entire case is baseless. Imagine it's like going, it's like you go to a country you've never been to before, and you suddenly claim that all your family members are kidnapped. It's so baseless, right? As how can someone be kidnapped in a place that they were never there at all?
And yeah, and like what brings me, this is a question that I'm really burning with, that for 5 years using this, they were continuously character assassinating Swamiji, continuously, so many false cases, false allegations, accusations, and really violent, vicious terminologies were being used to abuse Swamiji using this false case, whereas the entire thing, the fundamental base, there is a preliminary objection to this case because the case does not stand because none of us belong to that jurisdiction. How can, is it like, as you were just mentioning, it is like me going to a different country and I meet where you have never been to even. And all of a sudden, it's like as if out of my own fantasy, and I'm just claiming that, oh, you're just illegally confined in that place, whereas you've never been there.
Exactly.
It's just so absurd and ridiculous.
The unfortunate and sad, painful truth, the reality is that, yes, we have received this, as this order entirely elaborates in detail. Every aspect of this case is baseless. It's just completely ridiculous and baseless. But this baseless case has affected, completely sabotaged the sacred mission of Kailasa, what Swamiji was envisioning to revive, to re-establish back in the Gujarat, in Ahmedabad, through the Yogini Sarvakya Peetham. And it has completely affected a huge contribution that Swamiji was doing to the humanity. And this is how Hindu gurus are persecuted. Understand, in the last 5 years, how many of you came across this news? How many of you saw this news? But what could we do about it? Factually, we were not kidnapped. The entire thing is baseless. It is a lie. But every single day, media would falsely portray it. They would allege, they would say the kidnapped girls. They would falsely accuse Swamiji and call him the kidnapper. How so unjust? And it is just so, I have no words. It's inhumane. How can a person be put through this? And this is literally a mockery on justice itself, because even before the judgment came, which has come today after 5 years of this brutal lawfare, but even before the judgment could come, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was put through media trial. The media had already accused Swamiji, calling him kidnapper, whereas this entire thing was false and it was baseless. Though this we are all celebrating here, yes, it is something huge. This clearly exposes, and this is upholding truth and justice. We are grateful for that. But it is crucial that we also remember and remind ourselves this has come at what cost. The amount of destruction, the physical destruction of the campus, the library, university was just destroyed and brought to grounds. 200 plus monks, women, and young children were made homeless overnight. Young children were tortured by the so-called officials who came there in the name of inspection. These were actually the mafia using the deep state, which Kulnari Janardhan, using his deep state connection, had got to the university campus. 5 years of character assassination, 5 years of brutal lawfare and media trial. This is all that has gone into, and this entire baseless case. This is how time and again the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has been persecuted. Today we are seeing continuously, we are seeing how so many false cases are being brought to an end. So many, this entire nexus, I would say, is completely getting exposed. But we all need to remember, time and again, the anti-Hindu mafia, the anti-Hindu elements, the Hindu-phobic elements use this as the weapon, the lawfare, character assassination as a weapon to persecute the gurus. Next time you read a news, you go and share it to people saying, oh, look, this guru is being, told like this. We all do it. So many times we do not know the complete information. We fall prey to the disinformation that is spread by the media. And many times we do not actually stand up, we do not take a strong stance, and we do not go report the channel, or we do not question the authenticity of the news, many of us, because we all collectively keep quiet when we are all seeing the news that is continuously spread. But look at the impact, look at what a false lie is able to do for 5 years. This has completely stopped, halted the mission that Swamiji had revived in Ahmedabad in Gujarat, which was serving women and from various different countries, empowering women, victims of domestic violence, the survivors and of various different injustices that they have been through life, women who have been subject to various different traumas in their life. To all these people from different walks of life, this Yogini Sarvajna Peetham remained as a hub which actually provided spiritual solutions from Hinduism. And Swamiji had empowered women from so many different walks of life to experience the real authentic Hinduism and heal themselves from the traumatic past. And this entire mission was completely sabotaged, stopped, affecting the future and lives of so many women, monks, and young children. So this, as we read this order, we'd like to remind that again and once again, and we request all the members, all the viewers that are watching us, thank you so much for tuning in and watching. Please do take a few minutes to share this. Tweet what you think about this. And it is time that we all get together and hold the media accountable. Now it is time that these facts are being published. Now it is time that these truths are being told to the world. That will happen only by all of us as Hindus standing up together, voicing out this persecution. It is time we hold the media accountable to publish these facts. It is time that we start questioning. And every one of you that are watching it, let us own it up. Let us take it up. And we request each of you, take this link, share it on Twitter, share it on Facebook, and please tag the media channels in your localities, in your communities, and let us take it forward and ask the media to start publishing these facts. Let the truth be told to the world. The 5 years of baseless lawfare media trial that the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has been subject to, we need accountable answers from the media houses. And let us take this as an opportunity. Let us share the accurate information to the media, the facts to the media, and let us share this truth to the world.
Absolutely. Actually, I request all the viewers right now with us. What do you think? How do you feel seeing this? How do you feel seeing this whole nexus getting exposed? The further order exposes this even more.
And in the paragraph follow, we can actually, the previous one that we read out to all of you, that is where in the order it clearly stated that neither of us were there in the place of Gujarat, in the Ahmedabad, the Yogini Sarvajna Peetham, when the complaint was filed, and that was highlighted in the previous paragraph. In the next paragraph, it continues. The petitioner herein has alleged the unlawful detention of the corpus Nandita since 2019. However, the corpus Nandita herein residing outside of India since 5th of November 2019. It is submitted that the corpus Lopamudra has never resided in Gujarat, and she was residing in Bidadi, Karnataka, and she has left India on the 30th of November 2018, 1 year before this entire baseless case was filed. So she left India on 30th of November 2018 from Chhatrapati Shivaji International Airport, Mumbai. Both sides have cited various judgments, and the issue on which judgments are cited are predominantly for the purpose of making out a case of territorial jurisdiction and maintainability of the writ of the habeas corpus. So, in this order, it is quoting the various judgments, and
so the orders that were quoted, that both the sides had cited the various judgments. The issue on which such judgments are cited are predominantly for the purpose of making out a case of territorial jurisdiction and maintainability of the writ of habeas corpus. Learned advocate for the petitioner has relied upon the decision in the case of Oil and Natural Gas Commission versus Utpal Kumar Basu and others, reported in 1994 to GLH 379, to substantiate his argument that the question of territorial jurisdiction is to be decided on the facts of the case and the court within whose jurisdiction the cause of action has arisen partly or wholly. The jurisdiction would be to such court. Reliance is also placed on the decision in the case of PN Films versus Union of India, reported in 1954, Bombay Law Reporter 753, in support of his argument that the writ under Article 226 issued by the High Court would lie on the authority which is located within the territorial jurisdiction of the court.
And while the learned advocate appearing for the respondents have relied upon the decision in case of N. Mastan Sahib versus the Chief Commissioner of Pondicherry. So these are the different orders that have been mentioned. Yes, sorry for the technical glitch. We'd like to continue from where we had left. As we all can see in the order that's projected to you all, while the learned advocate appearing for the respondents have relied upon the decision in case of N. Mastan Sahib versus S. Chief Commissioner Pondicherry and another, reported in AIR 1962 SC 797, in support of his argument that as the respondents had already left the shores of Indian territory, even when the petition came to be filed, a writ jurisdiction of this court will not extend beyond the territory of India, and thereby questioning the maintainability of the petition issuing the writ. So in the next paragraph, the order continues. From the inception of the proceedings, it appears to be the case of the petitioner on one side on the basis of his concern to know about the well-being of the corpora, and on the other side, the apprehension of the corpora of being ill-treated by the petitioner, considering their past experience with the family. The court is therefore much concerned from the inception about the well-being of the corpora, which has to be considered. So I'm just going to summarize this paragraph as this is important. So here, the court, the Honorable High Court, and the judges have mentioned clearly that through the proceedings, they see that one side, the petitioner, here Kulnari Janardhan, is claiming that he wants to know the well-being of the corpora, which is the two of us. And the court mentions on the other side that how we both have given our, we both are afraid because of the experience that we have been subject to from childhood. And here they say, and we quote, ill-treated by the petitioner, considering their past experience with the family. And the court is therefore much concerned from the inception about the well-being of the corpora, which has to be considered. So the court said it is concerned about our well-being, given after we had submitted all the facts about the kind of abuse that we have been through from childhood at the hands of both Janardhan and Bhuvaneshwari. The court said that the court is really concerned about us from the very beginning, and that is what is summarized. And the court said that they would like to consider all of these facts as well.
And again, just to all the viewers that are just joining now, I just wanted to again recap something over here, because this is the point that's highlighting that too. When they say the kind of treatment what we were subject to before joining Gurukul, before meeting Swamiji, in our childhood at the hands of Kulnari Janardhan and Bhuvaneshwari, were physical abuse, extreme domestic violence, psychological abuse, and sexual abuse when we were just minors, when we were very young. This is what we were subject to at the hands of pedophile Janardhan and his wife Bhuvaneshwari. And this was the traumatic childhood, traumatic past that the court order is currently referring to.
And the next paragraph continues. This court, by an order dated 20th November 2019, had issued notice making it returnable on 26th November 2019. And on that day, this court had recorded that the appearance of advocates for respondent number 7 at the same time has also recorded the affidavit in reply filed with the registry via email and attachment sent to such email regarding the materials placed on record, which the court observed was the material indicating
Nithyanandam. Sorry for the technical glitch. I hope all of you are able to hear us well right now. So I'm going to be continuing to read out the order. The court has recorded the appearance of the advocates for respondent number 7. At the same time, has also recorded the affidavit in reply filed with the registry via email and attachment to such email regarding the materials placed on record, which the court observed was the material indicating that the corpora were not under unlawful confinement. The court has also recorded that just to ascertain the same before the court in person. The matter was put up on 10th of December 2019. The stand of the corpora has first came on record by way of an affidavit received by the registry addressed to the registrar judicial of this court on the official email ID. Though it is termed as an affidavit, it appears to be an informal form of communication. Nonetheless, it has been addressed from the email of the corpus herself. In this document, it is stated as under. So this is actually just to give a brief to all the viewers that are right now tuned in right now with us. Yes, I see more and more viewers joining. All the viewers that are here, I'm going to be reading out this order, this particular order that we just received today from the Honorable High Court of Gujarat, which is exonerating Swamiji, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, of all the false, baseless allegations about this false kidnapping charges and all other charges related to this matter, where we both were falsely portrayed as if we are under unlawful confinement and falsely accusing Swamiji of it. So it was clear, this false habeas corpus petition was cleared, dropped, and the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has been exonerated. Swamiji has been exonerated. So that is what this court order is about. This is for all the viewers that are just joining right now. And any of you have any questions, feel free to post it. We are live right now through various social media platforms. Anybody that is willing to interact with us, you're wanting to ask us questions, feel free to post it under Kailasa's SPH Nithyananda YouTube channel. So this is our official YouTube channel, Swamiji's official YouTube channel, through which you can, in the comment section, you can post, and we will be able to immediately see and respond to you. Yes, so I'm just going to be reading out right now. This particular thing that I'm going to be reading out for all of you is the exact affidavit that was filed by Ma Nithyanandita, and we had sent it via, as the court order itself is mentioning clearly, we had also sent it to the court's registry email. So as it was quoted by the court order, I would like to inform this honorable court that on the 1st of November, adding to the multiple threatening calls from my father, called me again and threatened me to file any false statement accusing Swamiji of a rape under the POCSO Act. And he assured that he has enough of political clout to arrest Swamiji based on my false complaint. I was completely shocked and extremely afraid at the conspiracy that my father revealed to me. Following the phone call of my father, our campus in Gujarat was filled with 8 to 10 policemen from the Vivekananda Nagar jurisdiction who wanted to meet me. On that day, the police forced me for over 8 to 10 hours, telling that I had to come to the police station, and they started threatening the other women. I was fear-gripped and immediately called my sister Priya and informed her of whatever had happened. After which she also spoke to Mr. Rana. After hours of threat, they finally agreed to take the statement from where I am, which is completely legal. And I wrote a signed statement and at around 3 a.m. of 2nd of November and handed over it to the police. I humbly request the court to ask the police to submit a copy of the statement that I wrote and signed, a copy of which I do not have. The picture of me signing the statement is attached. Actually, I would like to show all the viewers this particular photograph that we are mentioning over here, because this happened the whole, this actually exposes the entire baselessness and falsity of these false allegations and accusations. So I'm just going to be showing to all the viewers right now the photograph of Ma Nithyananda actually signing and submitting to the police. So you all can see this is that particular photograph.
As we all can see here, this was the day on the 2nd of November. I had met with the police and I had given my statement in writing. And this is what was mentioned in the affidavit, which the order also mentions about. And the order continues to mention, and it quotes my statement where I said, I would like to inform this honorable court that I am safe, happy, free, and in no need of any protection from anybody. I have said this many times to my parents. I have also informed my parents as well to the police via video conferencing, as they have tried to reach me to confirm my presence and my safety and freedom. I abided to all the requirements police had asked for and gave written statements and video recordings and had multiple video conferencing calls with them confirming my safety and that I am on my personal travel out of my free will. Attached is a summary of conversations with the Gujarat police. Number 5, enclosed are links to my various videos on social media. So we had submitted all the videos, the statements, the calls, transcripts, everything to the Honorable Court. And it continues. I am writing this affidavit out of my free will without any pressure or force of anyone. I pray and hope the court will take it into consideration. And at no point I was kidnapped or kept away from my parents by Swamiji, nor by anyone in the Gurukul or Adinam administration, nor anyone else. I have left India to escape my father's brutal oppression, psychological pressure, terror, criminal intimidation, blackmail to file a false case under the POCSO against my Guru, Sri Nithyananda Swamiji. He has on multiple occasions tried to convince me to do this to frame my Guru, Sri Nithyananda Swami or Swamiji, as the court may and can see how the national media is conducting a media trial on Swami Nithyananda, who is nowhere involved in this. By this, the court will understand the political influence that Janardhan has because of all that has happened so far, and I do not trust the police. This was a statement that the order has quoted.
Actually, something that I would really like to highlight in this is specifically, if you all notice over here, firstly, we saw the court order itself very clearly stated that we both were not even in India, and this does not even apply to us because we are not even in India. We don't even belong to that jurisdiction. How can someone go to a different place where you're not even there and file a false complaint where that entire police station, not the court, does not even have any say over you? They do not have their jurisdiction over you. So there itself, it's a fundamental flaw. It's baseless. Second, the allegation is completely false. I have not even been to Gujarat. She was not there. Swamiji has never been there. And the whole claim is that we are being illegally confined in that particular place in Gujarat. Absurd, isn't it? Next point over here is where you have met with the police, you're signed, given to them, you've spoken to them in person. I mean, what amount of this is just so ridiculous, but dangerously showing us the alarming rate at which the deep state elements, what kind of a power influence should these anti-Hindu elements be having that they are able to influence even the legal framework for their manipulations? They're able to utilize the tools that are available as a legal framework to use it as a tool for their persecution, as a weapon for their persecution.
And it is, see, against the larger narrative that continuously runs, there's constantly an anti-Hindu narrative that is kept alive continuously. Guru after guru is being persecuted. So you don't even have the time to rationalize and analyze and judge. No, you are straight on. The moment you read the news, what happens? Even before your logic can analyze, you already start believing it. And that is where they win. Though we are now it's all clearly exposed, but 5 years. But the last 5 years, already a huge number of people had been brainwashed by the media cult, the anti-Hindu media cult, in its propaganda against the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. And when we say the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, we mean this is directly attacking the 2 billion of us Hindus. Swamiji is standing up for us. Attack on him is attack on all of us, the very consciousness of Veda Mata. And it's important for us to remember this. Constantly, there's this law where it says human rights, where it says innocent until proven guilty.
It's an international law.
It's an international law. But here it's literally like what happened to Swamiji, the lawfare that was conducted, the media trial that was conducted, it's literally a parody on justice itself. It's a mockery on the justice system by the anti-Hindu elements. Because here they clearly, the way this entire propaganda is established, the way it all unfolded, it did not go by the law, innocent until proven guilty. Instead, it is guilty until proven innocent. The media had already held and declared the SPH guilty. They all just did every lies, baseless accusations that were put, and 5 years of assault, character assassination. And character assassination is even worse than physical assassination, because continuously this lies being spread. You cannot do anything about it. Everywhere, every media house, every national media channels accuse Swamiji, calling Swamiji a kidnapper, whereas Swamiji was no way involved in this. Now, who will give us justice for that? We demand an answer from the media. We demand an answer from all the anti-Hindu elements and anti-Hindu media mafia that continuously published, despite we came and gave all the statements, the same facts that we submitted to the court, we continuously made it available through our YouTube videos to the public, to the media, and the media never published any of these facts to the world. Why?
Actually, it's a law that on any ongoing case, media cannot pass its judgments. I mean, otherwise, what's the point of having the legal system if the media has the authority to decide which side is right, which side is wrong? Okay, and I would like to address this. Ma Vidya Priyadarshini is asking, okay, then what about why should you be dressed up like this? Ma Vidya Priyadarshini should ask every Hindus, why are we not dressed up like this? This is our culture, and we are absolutely proud of living our culture in Sanatana Hindu Dharma. Go back and refer to all our scriptures. We feel empowered, we feel proud to wear this because we know the reason, we know the context, and we as Hindus, we are representing Kailasa, which stands for Hindus, for the 2 billion global Hindu diaspora. And we, as the princesses of Kailasa, represent the vision of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, which is to revive Hinduism authentically from its core and gift it to the humanity. And for the vision that we stand for, we feel proud and we feel blessed that we, at this age, are able to understand the value and significance, and we are able to wear our traditional attire. So hope this answers your question, Ma. And we request you to share what you think about this. When you see this entire lawfare, when you see this brutal attacks by the media on the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, what does it make you feel like? As Hindus, it is each of us, we need to ask our conscience this. We are letting this happen to every guru after guru. Gurus are being persecuted. And Swamiji is the only one who continuously is bringing out, one thing I'd actually like to highlight here, never Swamiji spoke about just the attack that he is going through. Never.
Swamiji has in fact never stood and said, I need justice. No.
Never.
Even at
Till
the
that I
peak
never
of this
heard,
persecution,
actually, so true. I never heard that from Swamiji.
And at the peak of this persecution, this entire attack unfolded. I still remember Swamiji stood, he came, he gave satsangs on the attacks that happened to the Palgar sadhus. Swamiji spoke about the attacks that are happening to the Hindu gurus, because Swamiji, from his very young age, has stood up for Hinduism, and he is the only one who's been boldly, unapologetically standing up for the brutal persecution that's happening to Hindu gurus. And it's time we wake up to this fact. It's time that we realize what is happening around us. This is not an independent incident alone. This is a persecution. And here in the order, it continues to mention, as we will read out to you all. A similar communication is also addressed via email by Corpus Lopamudra. And to avoid repetition, the same is not reproduced in detail here. And continues. On that day, 2 senior advocates appeared on behalf of the corpora and pointed out to the court that the affidavits of the corpora would be placed on record. It would be pertinent to reproduce paras 4 and 5 of the aforesaid order as under. Number 4, we are posting this matter on 20th of December 2019. We are also ordering the registry and requesting the Registrar General to place the action taken report in 2 copies submitted by the learned APP the additional public prosecutor, to be preserved in a sealed cover in safe custody and to produce before the court in the same sealed cover as and when the same is requested for. It goes without saying that the state authorities, including the police, must do their best to see that the corpus be given complete safety for producing themselves before the court. It goes without saying that the corpus, if are brought before the court, even prior to the next date, that is 20th December 2019, it would be open for the counsels to mention to the court. It continues, the aforesaid would indicate the apprehension of the corpora as and when they would be brought before the court. So actually, this very beautiful, I feel like our voice is being heard. And I really request that the media take these facts and publish it, because here the honorable court and the honorable judges have actually taken into account, recorded every single time that we have expressed the fear, the apprehension. And here the court is said, and we quote, the aforesaid would indicate the apprehension of the corpora as and when they would be brought before the court. Then on the 27th of December 2019, the affidavits of the corpora individually placed on record, however, was objected by the petitioner on some technical ground, and therefore it is recorded in order dated 16th of January 2020 that the affidavit of the corpora duly signed before the High Commission of India, Kingston, were placed on record.
Actually, this is something that I would really like to add to this. We, again, recapping all. One, we are adults. We are stating that, look, this is our life. We are coming live every day on social media. We are live. We post our photos on our social media platforms, like things that normally people would do if they have full freedom. We have been doing that. And we are adults. We are mature enough to decide for ourselves, right? It's a fundamental human right that we have. That's the first thing, which by itself should have a basic value. Second, I have never been to Gujarat. We were not even in India when this whole thing happened. And the whole false case was that we were illegally confined in Gujarat. And this false allegation was put on Swamiji, who himself had never been to that campus and who was not in India at that time. So considering this, once again, this is another false allegation. This itself proves it's completely baseless. Third point. Before leaving from India, she actually met with the police.
Exactly.
12 days before this false case was even filed, she met with the police. She clearly told that, look, they both are trying to kidnap me. Kulnari Janardhan and his wife Bhuvaneshwari, both of them are trying to kidnap me, and I do not want to go back to them. She met with the police. We also showed the order also, the court order also clearly showed this. Once again, which proves a kidnapped person would not come talk individually, without having anyone else forcing her or anything like that, just on her own, out of her free will, writing and giving her handwritten letter to the police. Once again, that should be enough, right? Anyways, seems like that also was not enough for receiving the justice. Point 4. We went to the Indian embassy where we submitted our affidavit. The Indian embassy, the authorities saw us in person, safe and sound. We got our affidavits notarized and we submitted the Indian embassy's notarized copy to the court. We filed our affidavits to the court. So at this point, at least, should have stopped, right? And we did this in the beginning of January 2020.
In fact, it is mentioned here in the order itself. The order says, and we continue, by an order dated 2nd of March 2020, the formal notice came to be issued upon the corpora, who were added as party respondents number 8 and 9. And it would be in the aforesaid set of chronology that the version of the corpora came on record of the court. The record thus indicate affidavits of both corpora, which is both of us, dated on the 8th of January 2019, which was sworn in the office of High Commission of India at Kingston in front of the attaché, the High Commission of India, Kingston. In the said affidavit, the corpus has referred to certain issues of the petitioner arising out of financial dealings details of which may not be relevant, however, with regard to the well-being of the corpora. It would be appropriate to reproduce the relevant paras of the affidavit as under. And it quotes, I would like to inform this honorable court that I am safe, happy, and free, and in no need of any protection from anybody. I have said this many times to my parents, and I have also informed to the police via video conferencing, as they have tried to reach to me to confirm my presence and my safety and freedom. I abided to all the requirements police had asked for and gave video statements and had multiple video conferencing calls with them confirming my safety and that I am on my personal travel out of my free will. It quotes one of the most important facts. All Gurukul classes, programs are only conducted by Gurukul teachers, volunteers, and parents. Other than parents, no adults, not even Swamiji, can meet any minor child alone without parents or mentor supervision, and that meeting will only be in front of CCTV cameras. Gurukul area, the Nithyananda Gurukul premises, is completely secured with CCTV cameras and closures to prevent any adult crossing into Gurukul area even by mistake. The core teaching of Gurukul is to teach a child to live without fear or greed. Loud voices, shouting, yelling, screaming, shouting profanities, physical intimidation, physically beating a child is banned in Gurukul. This is a strict rule implemented without any deviation. Any adult, a teacher or volunteer who even raises his or her voice will be requested to leave the Gurukul premises immediately. Since I was in Gurukul, part of the Gurukul committee, which administered Gurukul, I am very well aware of the Gurukul policies. I am afraid to come back to the country as I fear my father and his political contacts will do everything in their contacts to intimidate me, threaten me, kidnap me, imprison me against my will, and get arrested to ultimately force me to use me as a weapon to file a false rape charge against the POCSO Act on my Guru, Srinithyananda Swamiji. In the light of the fact that 1, I have been subject of intimidation, harassment, and death threats in the media, social media, and the associates of my father. And number 2, my father has considerable political influence and has threatened to use such power against me. I humbly request this honorable court to grant the following safety precaution to ensure my safety and privacy. I request that I receive court-ordered protection for me and my sister from time we arrive in the country until we leave the country. I should not be forced to meet anyone, including Mr. Janardhan Sharma, Ms. Bhuvaneshwari, or anyone else related to or chosen by them. I should not be forced to stay in any particular place and should not be allowed to stay in should be allowed to stay in the place of my choice. I should not be arrested illegally or held captive or under force to give any statement under duress in any way. I want my Guru Bahans, Manitya Pranapriyananda and Manitya Priyatattvananda, who are illegally arrested and manhandled by the state police in the false case instigated by my father, to be released immediately. This is a family issue, and I am so pained that my Guru Bahans, who have zero involvement in the matter, have been dragged into this and imprisoned. I don't want anything bad to happen to them because of our family matter. I want my father to give a written affidavit to this honorable court that he will not force me or my sister Nandita Janardhan to file a false rape charge against our Guru, Sri Nithyananda Swami, under the POCSO Act at any cost, directly or indirectly, using any of his thugs or political influence. I state and submit to this honorable court that I apprehend the threat to my life and liberty if I return to India, because of which I wish to completely maintain the privacy of my travel, locations, and whereabouts. I would like to inform to this honorable court that although we have been asked by the Nithyananda Sangha administration to go and settle family issues, we are very clear we will reapply and join back with the Nithyananda Sangha, and our future is with and in Nithyananda Sangha. I state and submit that I apprehend threat to my life and liberty if I return to India. So the court has in elaborate detail mentioned these facts as we had given in our affidavits. It continues. The judges continue. The said affidavit is also accompanied by additional affidavit of same date, specifically answering to the avertments made in the petition and dispelling the apprehension of the petitioner that the corpora have been mistreated or in any way under distress or duress. I would like to read this 10 times, if not more, because this clearly states how I would like to quote the exact word of the honorable judges. They say that the affidavit is also accompanied by another additional affidavit. We had submitted various on the record of the same date, specifically answering to the avertments made in the petition, which is what the Kulnari Janardhan had accused various baseless claims, and we had submitted facts, evidence. And here the honorable judges mention, they mention in the court, dispelling the apprehension of the petitioner that the corpora have been mistreated or in any way under distress or duress. Similar affidavit and additional affidavit is on record by the corpus Nandita, and the contents of her affidavit are quite identical to that of her sister. So here the judges clearly mention how the facts that we submitted clearly dispels all the false, baseless claim by that of the petitioner.
I mean, all these only show more and more about one. We have been stating this since the very beginning, since even before this false case was even filed. And after that, also through multiple means, we have been stating it.
And you know, one of the best parts, as I'm reading it out, I feel so like finally I feel so fulfilled. I feel like, I mean, when I say
Finally,
fulfilled,
someone is, our voices are heard, like something, like, you know, how you feel gratified.
Exactly.
That finally, that somehow, years, last 5 years, what we have been saying through so many live videos, recorded videos, through affidavits, through press conferences and media statements, like multiple platforms
and
all
finally,
possible ways.
and finally we feel our voices are heard. And we just thank the Honorable High Court of Gujarat. We thank the honorable judges. Thank you so much for upholding justice, upholding the dharma. And I mean, I don't know how many amount of thanks will even suffice, but finally this has restored a hope on, and this has reassured and strengthened further our trust on the justice system. And this makes us stand even more stronger to fight back against each of these anti-Hindu entities that levied this entire false case. And we would like to continue the order, which states, the subsequent affidavit in reply to the corpora dated 16/12/2019 was placed on record, which was sworn in front of the Assistant Registrar and Notary Public at Barbados, accompanied with a copy of the passport and travel documents of the corpora. It would be appropriate to reproduce the contents of the affidavit of both corpora, which are quite identical to avoid duplicity. The contents of the affidavit of corpus Lopamudra is quoted here and below. Relevant portion is quoted. In the FIR, my father claims that he and my mother, Mrs. Bhuneshwari, weren't allowed to meet in the office. But whereas on the 2nd of October 2019, both my siblings had met and spent time with them. I would like to inform this honorable court that on the 5th and 6th of October, my siblings, Nandita, Kalpalata, and Ambasutan, got and spent around 7 hours time with Mrs. Bhuneshwari and her relative, also a lawyer, Mr. Arvind Rajagopal. During her visit with them, she was served food by Ma Vimala, and multiple people like Ma Atmatattva, Sri Ishwarapriya, Ma Shambhavya were the eyewitness for the meet with my mother. On that day, suddenly, she started behaving violently, screaming, threatening that she would commit suicide if they didn't budge to her and come out of the organization. Both my younger siblings froze out of fear and were emotionally tortured with her blackmail. Responding to her threats, the administration requested Bhuvaneshwari to come along with her husband, Mr. Janardhan. I would like to inform this honorable court that on the 1st of November, adding to the multiple threatening calls, my father called my sister again and was threatening her to file any false statement accusing Swamiji of rape under the POCSO Act. And he assured that he has enough political clout to get Swamiji arrested based on the false complaint. She was completely shocked and extremely afraid at the conspiracy that my father revealed to her. Following the phone call of my father, our campus in Gujarat was filled with 8 to 10 policemen from Vivekananda Nagar jurisdiction who wanted to meet her. On that day, Inspector Rana, along with other police personnel, forced her for over 8 to 10 hours, insisting that she had come to the police station and that they started threatening the other sadhvis in Yogini Sarvagnya Peetam. She was fear-gripped and immediately called me, informed me of whatever had happened.
So this is actually my statement that I had sworn in as an affidavit, and that's what is quoted over here. Because I spoke to the I spoke to Mr. Rana, the inspector. I spoke to the policeman. And something that I would really like to highlight here is on the day one, when this happened, when they had attacked. It was on the 1st of November 2019. I remember very clearly. My first shock was when I asked the police, do you have a complaint? Like, I would like to see the complaint. Based on what are you entering into the campus? Do you have a search warrant? Do you have any kind of, do you have something in your hand using which so many people, so many men, rowdies and charge-sheeted mercenaries and media, the anti-Hindu mafia media, and Kulnari Janardhan, who's actually directing everyone to go where you go here, you go there. He's the one who's mobilizing the entire crowd that was there. And I asked the police, I asked them, do you have any complaint? Based on what are you here? They did not have. They did not have a police complaint from the 1st of November all the way till the 17th of November. There was no police complaint even filed. By then, already the attack was launched already everywhere, all over the media. The news was being flashed, falsely accusing Swamiji of a kidnap. And the worst part was we were portrayed as if we were children. Do you remember?
Exactly.
I mean, we are adult women. I'm 24 years old, and I was at that time in 2019. I was 20 years old.
And here, the order continues. Following this court's Ma Tattvapriya statement, which said, following this, I immediately went on a video call with Mr. Rana in the presence of over 40 to 45 policemen, requesting them not to harass my siblings, but which went in vain. After hours of threat, they finally settled to take a written statement from my sister, and where she was Yogini Sarvajnapeetam, which was as per law. She wrote a signed statement and at around 3 a.m. of 2nd November 2019 and handed over to police. I humbly request the court to ask the police to submit a copy of the statement that she wrote and a signed copy of which she does not have. Attached is a picture of the same at Annexure A6. I would like to inform this honorable court that I am safe and happy and in no need of any protection from anyone. I have said this many times to my parents and I've also informed the police via video conferencing as they have tried to reach me to confirm my presence and my safety and freedom. I abided to all the requirements police has asked for and gave video statements, multiple conferencing calls with them, confirming my safety and that I am on my personal travel out of my freedom. It once again mentions the facts that all the Gurukul classes programs are only conducted by Gurukul teachers, volunteers, and parents. Other than parents, no adults, not even Swamiji, can meet any minor child alone without parents, mentors, supervision, and that the meeting will only be in front of the CCTV cameras. Gurukul area is completely secured with CCTV cameras and closures to prevent any adults crossing into the Gurukul area even by mistake. The core teaching of Gurukul is to teach a child to live without fear or greed. Loud voices, shouting, yelling, screaming, shouting profanities, physical intimidation, physical beating a child is banned in Gurukul. This is a strict rule is implemented without any deviation. Any adult, a teacher or a volunteer who even raises his or her voice will be requested to leave the Gurukul premises immediately. And since I was part of the Gurukul committee which administered Gurukul, I am well aware of Gurukul policies. I am afraid to come back to the country as I fear my father and his political contacts will do everything in their contacts to intimidate me, threaten me, kidnap me, imprison me against my free will, and get me arrested to ultimately force me to use me as a weapon to file a false rape charge against the POCSO Act on my Guru, Srinithyananda Swamiji. In the light of the fact that I have been subject to intimidation, harassment, and death threats in the media, social media, and associates of my father, and my father has considerable political influence and has threatened to use such power against me, I humbly request this honorable court to grant the following safety precautions to ensure my safety and privacy. I request that I receive court-ordered protection for me and my sister from the time we arrive in the country until we leave the country. I should not be forced to meet anyone, including Mr. Janardhan, Mrs. Bhuneshwari, or anyone else related to or chosen by them. I should not be forced to or stay in any particular place and should be allowed to stay in place of my choice. I should not be arrested illegally or held captive or under force to give any statement under duress in any way. I want my Guru Behans, Manitya Pranapriyananda and Manitya Priyatatvananda, who are illegally arrested and manhandled by the state police in the false case instigated by my father, to be released immediately. This is a family issue, and I am so pained that my Guru Behans, who have zero involvement in the matter, have been dragged into this and imprisoned. I don't want anything bad to happen to them because of our family matter. I want my father to give a written affidavit to this honorable court that he will not force me or my sister Nandita Janardhanan to file a false rape charge against our Guru, Srinithyananda Swami, under the POXO Act at any cost, directly or indirectly using any of his thugs or political influence. I state and submit to this honorable court that I apprehend threat to my life and liberty if I return to India, because of which I wish to completely maintain the privacy of my travel locations and whereabouts. I would like to inform this honorable court that although we have been asked by the Nithyananda Sangha administration to go to and settle family issues, we are very clear we will reapply and join back the Nithyananda Sangha, and our future is with and in Nithyananda Sangha. I state and submit that I apprehend the threat to my life and liberty if I return to India. As a matter proceeded before this court, yet another affidavit has come on record, dated 16th of February 2022, sworn in front of the public notary at Jamaica. The court may reproduce the relevant paragraphs as under.
Actually, we are still reading out the court order for all those viewers that are just joining. I just wanted to recap again. Right now, we are reading out the court order from the Honorable High Court of Gujarat that has exonerated the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism of all the false allegations of any kind of false allegations that was levied upon Swamiji about the false kidnapping case where we both were falsely portrayed as if we are the kidnapped victims. And this was part of a larger conspiracy by Kulnari Janardhan and his big deep state elements network, a huge network of anti-Hindu mafia.
And the order continues, and we read for all of you. Here, I humbly state and submit that I am a major, aged about 23 years, and on my own will and on my own consciousness, with complete and stable mind, without any influence of any person, authority, or institution, not wanting to stay with the petitioner, I declare the same by the way of the present affidavit. I humbly state that I am residing out of the territory of India on my free will. The present writ petition may kindly not be entertained beyond the territorial jurisdiction of India, and therefore I state and submit that there is a lack of territorial jurisdiction as far as the present writ of habeas corpus is concerned. I also state that this case cannot be applicable on me, as this case, quote unquote, this case is completely fabricated, false, baseless, frivolous allegations, with one of them main complaint raised in the case of being myself illegally detained, whereas I have never ever stepped into the Yogini Sarvagya Peetham Gujarat, into this place, or never have even entered the state of Gujarat. This crime is alleged to be committed in the year 2019, whereas I had left India out of my own free will in the year November 2018. I am 23 years old, major, and have the fundamental rights to decide for myself. I humbly request the Honorable Court to quash this malicious, false, baseless, frivolous allegations put forth by the petitioner with a deliberate criminal plot to hide his crimes that my sister and I both are witness to and victims of, including but not limited to physical abuse, domestic violence, sexual abuse, mental trauma, death threats, money laundering. The petitioner, along with his political clout, have plotted against my Guru, Sri Nithyananda Swamiji, in order to extort money, blackmail him using me and my sister as pawns, threatening us by force to file a false rape charge under the POXO Act against my Guru, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. I respectfully state that neither me nor my sister Nandita are in any kind of confinement, any influence of any person, authority, or institution. On the contrary, we are on our own free will and on our own consciousness with a complete and stable mind have been living our lives. We are in fact regularly coming live on public platforms, conducting spiritual programs for helping others. And the order, the judges continue to mention, identical affidavit is also on record by second corpus Nandita. From the record, the judges state, from the record, therefore, it is evident that the corpora were not in India. However, the state authorities made efforts to contact corpora in November 2019. The police did interact with the corpus, which was placed on record by the way of report. Along with the report, the transcription of the conversation was also placed. It would be fruitful to reproduce the relevant experts of such conversations with the PSI, the police sub-inspector, Shri R.B. Rana, and the deputy sub-inspector, SP Sharda, which read as under. This is where you all can see on the screen. This is actually a Gujarati transcript of the entire conversation that they had with Ma Tattva Priya.
And I'm sorry, I'm just going to be reading out the English statements. I'm not really aware of the Gujarati statements here. It's in Gujarati, and we're actually projecting it like for all of you. It's live. The order is projected live. I'm going to just read out whatever is in English text alone. This was the conversation I had with the PSI R.B. Rana, and this is dated 18th of November 2019. Actually, all these clearly exposes how I was in close contact even on the date of when this false complaint was filed. I was still in contact with the police. You all can see that, and continuously my location, I had kept sharing it. I'm just going to be reading out. So, conversation with Lopamudra Janardhan Sharma alias Ma Nitya Tattva Priyananda, and time is 11:53. And
so the first question here in Gujarati, what is asked is, they're asking, "To kya aap missing hai abhi?" That's what is the conclusion of the question that they've asked. And so, to which Ma Tattva Priya is responding.
So I'm responding saying, "No, I am not missing anywhere. I just did a live video on Facebook. On the Facebook video, I told clearly where I am. I am in Trinidad and Tobago, and I told this clearly, very, very, very clearly, and all in the video."
And the police sub-inspector R.B. Rana continues to ask, "आप कितने समय से वहां पर है?"
And I had responded saying that I have been traveling for the world tour for Trinidad and Tobago, and I came to Mauritius. I've been traveling to various different countries for world, like almost throughout the year. I have been traveling to different countries for world tour.
And next, he continues to ask, "Aapne," it's a transcript, so I think he's trying to ask a question. And whereas
I'm continuing the conversation saying that my photos and my program pictures, everything is also on Facebook, Instagram, and just check my social media, and you will see if almost every day I post my pictures. So if I am missing, I cannot be posting pictures. He says, okay. And I continue saying, I have been very actively posting pictures. I've been very active on social media. I have been here for almost 1 year, and I've been traveling to different countries, all on the purpose of the world tour.
And so the sub-inspector continues to ask, "Aapne apne father se kab mili thi?" Then she asks, sorry, once again to repeat, and he says, "Aapne father ke saath, Janardhan Sharma ke saath mili thi? Last kab?"
So, and I had responded saying that I think before 1 week, I spoke to him on a call. After 1 week, I think before 1 week, I spoke to him on a call. After 1 week, he stopped responding to my messages. Even day before yesterday also, I had sent him messages. I have been trying to connect to him. My sister have been on video call with him. I've been on video call with him. Like, you can check my messages if you want. Actually, I had sent him some screenshots. This was before this whole incident had happened. And this was when I confronted Kulnari Janardhan. And after that, he stopped responding to me completely. And you can see this statement is on record. And as per the court's transcript, this is from the police transcript of my call recording with the police. And it was very clearly on record that even though I persistently tried reaching out to Kulnari Janardhan, he did not respond to my calls. This just exposes so blatantly he was lying on the media channels that he was not able to get in contact with me. Whereas on the other hand, I have been continuously trying to reach out to him, contact him, and he never responded to me. So I'm just continuing. PSI R.B. Rana is like, okay, the police is saying, okay. And I'm continuing saying, like, sometimes whenever there was like some problems that he had on me, that's when I told I will not talk to him. This happens. And after that, I have continuously been in touch with him. But you can see my chats, I think. I think that's what I would have told him. But he doesn't respond back to me.
And so the sub-inspector, Mr. Rana, is continuing to ask. So he's saying, आपको आश्रम की ओर से कोई problem है? And he's asking, आपको क्या आश्रम से कैसा response है? And he's asking again, नित्यानंद जी आश्रम की ओर से आप खुश है? क्या कोई आपको problem है? And then he's asking, आपका क्या मानना है कि उस जो भी आरोप लगा है उसके बारे में क्या मानना है आपका? For which she's responded.
And I have responded saying that, see, I'm very, very, very happy about the way how this organization is. But because they're using this organization as like a situation, a way to attack the organization, I have started distancing myself away from the organization. Otherwise, the organization and myself, I have no problem today.
And he's asked, आपको क्या आपको किसी ने टॉर्चर किया है, किसी ने आपके साथ जबरदस्ती की हो, जैसा कुछ है आश्रम की ओर से? he's asking, which means like he's basically asking, do you have anything, are you being ill treated in the ashram, or is there any kind of force?
And I'm saying, what? No, nobody in the organization tortured me, and I'm happy.
So there was another police who was there, and he's asking, आपकी ओर से और कुछ कहना है तो? And he's asking, जैसे आपकी ओर से कुछ कहना है, और is there anything else you want to say, any other things? So she's saying,
no, I think Mr. Rana is also continuing something.
Yes, the same. So okay. He's asking, आपको आपकी ओर से कुछ कहना है, और आपकी कुछ चीजें हैं, और आप पूछना चाहते हैं, आप कहना चाहते हैं?
So I'm saying that, see, first thing, really and telling, both me and my sister are safe, sound, and happy. And secondly, this is a personal family matter. I don't want the organization to be involved in this. We are scared to come to India, because if I come anywhere to India, because Janardhan Sharma has a lot of political influence, we do not want him to interfere. We do not want him this one life out of our choice. I believe what I would have, I mean, here it's clearly stating what I had told was that we both are safe and sound. The only apprehension we have is of Janardhan, because he has a strong political clout using which he is trying to attack us. And I just wanted to recap once again, like the date of this, because I feel this is very, very, very important. If you see here, the date is November 18th, 2019. 17th of November 2019 was when the false habeas corpus petition was filed. And the very next day itself, this transcript, this is from that date, actually, even from before I was in touch, as the court order itself mentions. And it very clearly shows that from the beginning, only apprehension was this, that Kulnari Janardhan, using his strong political clout and the anti-Hindu mafia network he is trying to weaponize both of us, somehow get us into his clutches and weaponize both of us to attack Swamiji.
And the order continues. Over and above the affidavits filed by the corpora individually, which has unequivocally declared that they are not in any distress, over and above, both are represented by the senior advocates who have confirmed after having taken instructions. Therefore, there is no reason to disbelieve the facts which have come on record. Still, to satisfy this court, and also in furtherance of the order passed earlier, the court has accepted the request of learned senior advocates for appearing for the corpora to organize a hearing via video conferencing, where the corpora located outside India would appear before the court virtually. Okay, I'm laughing because here we can see one very important point, which I would like to highlight again. So the honorable judges are saying, and we quote their exact words, they're saying, over and above the affidavits filed by the corpora individually, has unequivocally declared that they are not in any distress. Over and above, both are represented by their senior advocates who have confirmed after having taken instructions. Therefore, there is no reason to disbelieve the facts which have come to record. So the judges themselves clearly state here that there's no reason to disbelieve any of the facts stated. And they're saying, still, to satisfy this court and also the furtherance of the orders passed earlier, the court has accepted the request of the learned senior advocates for appearing for the corpora to organize a hearing via video conferencing. So the court, which was already satisfied, in addition, just to take another additional step to satisfy any room of doubts that there is left, they said they accepted the request of our advocates for us to have a video conferencing with them. And here it says, our court, while in compliance with the directions contained in orders passed by the Apex Court in case of Sarvesh Mathur versus Registrar General, High Court of Punjab and Haryana, in writ petition criminal number 351 of 2023, contained in the para 14, order dated 6/10/2023, that no High Court shall deny access to video conferencing facilities or hearing through the hybrid mode to any member of the bar or litigant desirous of availing such facilities have adopted SOP for hybrid hearing under its circular number ITC bar /98/2023 dated 13/6/2023, followed by the circular number ITC 194/2023 dated 27/9/2023. So here the court is saying, based on our request, the court has accepted for the video conferencing, and as recorded in the preceding paras and as observed in the earlier orders, the concern with regard to the well-being of the corpora were to be ascertained, and accordingly, the court declared in its order dated 9th of January 2024 that the corpora would be available via safe link for video conferencing. The video conferencing was thus organized on the 10th of January 2024, where the corpora appeared online and attended the chamber by the learned advocate of respective parties, Mr. Pritesh Shah, learned advocate for the petitioner, and Mr. Hardik Mehta, the additional public prosecutor for respondent number 1, Mr. Y.S. Lakhani, the learned senior advocate for the learned advocate, Mr. Rahul Dolakia, for respondent number 7, Mr. B.B. Nayak, learned senior advocate with Mr. Shalin Mehta, learned senior advocate for Mr. Manasvi Thapar, learned advocate for respondent number 8 and 9. Mr. Kshitji Amin, learned standing counsel for respondent number 10. The interaction with the corpora would indicate that they were not in any way illegal confinement. Not only that, but they had also indicated that they had decided to continue, that they are out of their free will residing at Jamaica and have decided to continue their reside there and follow the spiritual path which they have consciously intended to follow.
They have also indicated about the spiritual sessions which they undertake, which are followed by many people across the world. The court, finding the same to be reliable, is unable to conclude that the corpora are in any manner in duress or influence, though learned advocate for the petitioner has sought to raise objection about the place from where the corpora have appeared online before this court. However, having interviewed with both corpora, the court satisfied that the both are adults mature enough to understand their well-being and apparently are happy at the place where they are presently proceeding and on their spiritual path. In view of the aforesaid, the court deems it fit to discharge the notice and dismiss the petition accordingly. The virtual interaction with the corpora has been recorded, and registry is directed to preserve such recording as part of the record of this case. With aforesaid, the petition stands dismissed, rule is discharged.
And in the view of the order passed, in the main matter, no separate orders are required to be passed in the connected applications. Hence, accordingly stands disposed of. And here under it is mentioned Honorable Justice Mr. A.Y. Kokje and Justice Rajendra M. Sareen. And we offer a heartfelt gratitude to both the honorable judges. Thank you so much for standing up for the truth. Thank you so much for upholding dharma, upholding the truth. And this has reassured, strengthened our trust in the justice system. It has strengthened, empowered us to stand up and fight back against all the lies and the persecution and propaganda. Thank you so much, and we offer our heartfelt gratitude.
Actually, just seeing this brings tears to my eyes. Honestly, like, there's just too much from, like, this is something that we were waiting for the last 5 years.
And finally to see these words, to hear this, to read this, and the whole order, the way it has been put, it is truly amazing. I mean, I have no words. I'm just too elated right now, and I don't even know if I'm expressing it correctly. But this, what we have been through for the last 5 years, knowing that something is a lie, trying to fight against it, trying to tell the fact, and still our voices are not heard. And now this order has spelled out everything very clearly, and this makes me actually think, even if this order would have been just one line, right, it would have never I mean, I would have been very happy with it. But here it has mentioned every single statement what we have been trying to say for the last 5 years, which makes us feel like finally we are heard. What we wanted to say, what we have been like for the last 5 years struggling to say, has been heard, has been taken into record, and has been like finally justice has been brought. We thank all of you so much. We thank our entire legal team. We thank the
I really want
petitioner. We thank the advocates who stood and fought against the petitioner for all the lies, and who has stood from the very beginning, who believed what we said, who acknowledged the facts, who heard us out completely, and they took this forward to the judges. We thank each of you. And
actually, I'm just so happy. Like, just reading this statement makes me so happy. The petition is dismissed, disposed. Last 5 years, what kind of attacks were happening? And now I just feel like I just wanted to offer my gratitude to Swamiji for being the strength. I mean, thank you, Swamiji, just for being there in our lives and giving us all the powerful cognitions, giving us a strength to be able to even see this day is something that we all were looking forward to for the last 5 years.
And also this, once, I mean, after I saw this, it has not just strengthened my trust in the justice system, but actually now it makes us stand more confidently. We want to tell every one of you, and especially to the anti-Hindu media mafia. I know many of you are watching it. I know many of you who have spread the false news, who are part of this, who are part of the propaganda, who supported the propaganda in any which way by sharing the false news. Our only thing that we want to tell you all is we will fight back. We are not going to stop with this. We are going to hold each of you accountable. Every entity, the anti-Hindu media mafia, every entity that stood and fought, and they spread these malicious lies, and that persecuted the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, each of you are answerable to us. You have affected 5 years of the mission. You have affected the future of so many monks, so many young women, including myself, who went to Yogini Sarvajnapitam with the dream of the future of experiencing Hinduism and taking forward the mission of Swamiji's. You destroyed all of our dreams. So all the media, anti-Hindu media elements, the Hinduphobic elements, we will fight back till we get justice. And we hold each of you accountable for all the destruction that is caused, and we will not settle in.
And I actually just wanted to thank all the people, the Hindu diaspora, that stood strong, supporting us with this, and truly grateful. This is just actually the moment I saw this order, I'm really overcome by emotions. It's too good. Like, and it's just so clear now that how real the Hindu phobia is, Hindu media is real. It's shown to the world now. This is the same media channels that on the November 1st of November 2019, when there was not even a single police complaint filed, all over the media channels, national media channels and state, local, in all levels, everywhere, they were flashing this false news. Everywhere they were publishing, stating this false allegation as if we are kidnapped and whatnot. Now, where are they? Order is out. The order is out. Order is clearly showing them all that whatever they published was false. Where are they? I request every single one of you now How many of you had this burning question inside of you? Take a moment, tag those media channels, send this link to all those media channels. This is an open call for all of them. Let them publish this news. This is the truth. This has to come to light. Let them publish this news. I request every one of you, share this link and demand. It's our right. As a Hindu, it's our right. I mean, why should we be put through this persecution today? If a Jain wants to take monkhood, it's celebrated. An entire city comes together, or sometimes even an entire state comes together. Huge royal procession is held and it's celebrated. As Hindu sannyasis, just because we chose this life of being a sadhvi, a Hindu sannyasi of the world's largest monkhood, the largest order, the sovereign order of Kailasas, Nithyananda, which is what we are part of. Just because we chose to be Hindu sannyasis, we've been persecuted. Our names were abused. We were abused. We were used as weapons to abuse our own Guru, Swamiji. That was the most painful thing, where they were continuously using us to harass, to attack Swamiji. And today, finally, justice has come to light. And I just feel so happy just to even see this order. Like, just look at it. Finally, this 5-year grueling false case is just quashed.
And we have one request that we would like to make to all the Hindus that are watching this. I know this is a moment that all of us are celebrating, but let us also remember it has come at what cost? The entire Yogini Sarvajna Peetham has been destroyed for no reason. Swamiji is innocent. He's no way involved in this, but his mission, his hard work, what he built with his blood, sweat, and life has been brought to grounds. The last 5 years has been a colossal destruction, not just character assassination, relentless persecution on Swamiji, the arrest of 2 innocent female monks. Their future, all of them are educated from various different walks of life, who left everything and came for a rich life, to live with Swamiji, to experience enlightenment, to experience Hinduism, to stand for the cause of Kailasa. Their future is affected. The entire kids who are staying there, their parents who left their kids in Gurukul, who joined their kids in Gurukul with the dream of making the kids as sannyasis of Hinduism, as leaders of Hinduism, their futures have been affected. All the monks, including myself, all of us who went to Gujarat to experience, to study in the Hindu university, our university was destroyed illegally, got to grounds. All of this is part of the persecution. It is time we unite. We cannot let this happen again and again and again to our Supreme Pontiff. We cannot let this happen to Hinduism. Any guru being attacked is an attack on Hinduism. And when our Supreme Pontiff is attacked, it is directly an attack on Veda Mata herself. It is time that we stand up. We have a request to make. We request each of you to stand up for truth. Let us not just hold accountability, let us spread the accurate information. And in addition to that, let us rebuild the Yogini Sarvajna Peetham. Let us revive, let us rebuild, let us stand for the cause to re-establish, rebuild the Yogini Sarvajna Peetham. We thank all of you for listening, for tuning in, for watching this segment. And we request each of you to take a few minutes to share this with everyone. Let the world know the truth.
And I request all the viewers that are joined in right now. I see many of you, more and more viewers joining in. Any of you have any questions, feel free. You can right now post it here in the comment section. We are live through Kailasa's SPH Nithyananda YouTube channel. You can post it here. But I have a humble request. Please share this link. Under all the false news, wherever this news was put, I request, it's not enough if 1 or 2 of you alone post it. As many of you are possible, please go ahead. Tag the media channels on Twitter. Share this particular link, this live link that you're watching us live right now from. Tag and post to all those media channels, asking them, demanding from them to post this news. If media was unbiased, they would have posted our voices since beginning. But at least now, can they post this news, which is the truth? Understand, it's high time. Hindus, we unite together. What we have been subject, actually what persecution we have been subject to is not even 1% of what Swamiji, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, has been subject to. Understand, it's very, very important. Only if all of us, all the Hindus together, come together, unite together, and voice out, we are going to get justice. I request all the viewers to please do this, share this, and thank you so much for watching Nithyananda.